Okay, so here I have written down the steps for the revealer tool. That's going to be on the second page of this flip chart, which I will save along with this video of how to do all of this. On the next page, I wanted to show you a neat little thing that you could do. Let's say if you want to give them time for writing journals or AR time or what have you, and you want to use the clock. This is a very simple thing that you can do. You come in, and you don't even necessarily need to display it if you don't want to use up the bulb, but you can just set your clock, and sometimes you can set in default to have the clock here if you want it, but it's not necessary. I'll show you that later if you like. You can come over here to Tools, and you open that up, and you look, all your tools are here, so you don't have to have them over there in the toolbar. It's just convenient to do so. You come here to More Tools, and it'll list even more. And you come down here as clock, okay? And it gives you this neat little clock. What you can do is you can come in here and you can have all, whatever kind of clock you want. It doesn't really matter. For the purpose of what we're doing, it doesn't really matter because we're going to use it for something else. And if you look, you hover over it, you see what it does. Count down, count up. We're going to count down because we're giving them a certain amount of time. You can count down, and let's say you want to count down to 20 minutes. This is your second, this is your minutes, this is your hours. You don't want to set this one, it'll never go off. Okay, so if it's 20 minutes, you would just set right here and make that a 2, and now it's set for 20 minutes. Or you can even go down like this. I'm going to set it pretty low. Let's see. I'm going to set it for 10 seconds because I just want to show you what it can do. I'm going to set it to where it's going to count down for 10 seconds. At the end of the 10 seconds, I want some kind of a cool sound to go off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a sound. And if you click this little click down thing here, you'll see that you have all kinds of sounds here that you can use. They got chimes, chord, ding, etc. I'll do chime there. And I'm going to say OK. Then it starts counting down. When it's over, the students get a little signal letting them know it's over. Now you can set other sounds as well. If you come in here and I want to set it 10 seconds again, you can come in here and you should be able to navigate to your resource file. If I can find it. And I'm going to have to go back and show y'all how to do that. Okay, the last thing I want to show you on here is how to lock objects together. Sometimes you may need to create a grid to list different things. You'll see it a lot of times in the English language arts. We did one today with nouns. I'm going to put in here, I want to select on this button right here, which is my shape tool. When I select on that, it's going to give me over here to the side all different kinds of shapes. So I'm going to pick out a rectangle shape. And then I'm going to make it white so that it'll be good and visible against that. And then now that my tool is selected, I have the kind of shape I want, and I have the color that I want. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw. You see I have my little rectangle shape next to it, and it's letting me know what I have selected. So I'm going to draw out a rectangle. And I want to make it kind of like a grid. So I still have my tool shape button selected. I want to now put in some lines. So I'm going to first put in some horizontal lines. Okay, and you just kind of start at one end and it'll keep it nice and straight for you because that's the tool I used. Now I have too much space down here and not enough there, so I can now come over and I'm going to get off my shape tool, and I'm going to go to my selector tool. Now that I'm in my selector tool, I want to move my lines and get them just where I want them to go. Okay. There's too much there, and some, oops, moved the wrong thing. So I got that right. I still want this one down. Dang it. You got to make sure that you select right on it when you move it, or it will move something else. Now, let's say I want to push this down. It's such a pain to be able to move this down because it's only going to move one thing at a time. So I'm a selector tool and I want to move it all down, but look what happens. If I select up here, all my lines stayed. And that's no good because I don't want to have to keep moving this and repositioning and all that. So I'm going to just undo. And here's my little undo button. Get that back like it was. And what you can simply do instead is you can lock it. Now you have to have the selector tool here. And what you want to do is you want to come and right outside of here you want to draw a little selection that kind of goes over all of that together. When you do, everything in there is selected. And then you see this little menu thing come up here. This little button here, if it's green, it says grouped. If it's green, it means it's not grouped. I want to click on that, and now it turns this kind of yellow color, and now everything is grouped together. All the lines inside of there in the outside box. So now, my selection tool on here, when I go to move it down, voila, it all stays together. Then I can always go in later and I can add in my text, get it just right. Let's say I want to add in nouns. Or better yet, maybe I'll say proper nouns. And then maybe I want to say, and I can even continue this line out further. I don't have to have a separate text box for it. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so I have things that I want to write in here, and I'm going to get these positioned right where I want them. And then what I'm going to do, now if I needed to move it again, I'm going to be moving, get my selector tool, I would be moving this, and my words do not go with it, which is no good. I want to keep it all lined up, and I don't have to do that every time. So you can always come back, add new things in, selector tool again, and you want to just draw a little selection over the whole thing. And again, it's green now because you have new items that are not grouped with it. So what I want to do is I want to go in again, and I want to hit grouped, and now it turned yellow. Now, when I go to move it, voila, there you go. And that is how you lock objects together. That's how you group them. And that is it, folks. That is how you do some basic things for creating your flip charts. We started with a tutorial on how to get started by having your browsers opened, how to set your background color, how to go back and forth between the browsers, how to create a revealer, to use the revealer tool, how to use a clock, and finally how to lock objects together. I hope this has helped.